It's definitely a shout to go for here as well, but once again, short range into the likes of Vega.
Yes.
Trump to finally come through.
And now we're going to see what they're going to take towards that top side, what they want to be going for. If it's the Gnar, as you mentioned, someone that is very safe to just lock in and be pretty happy against whatever you want. But we know that Ragnar is going to get a really nice option because he's the one who's been left with the priority again.
Honestly, even with the champions that's currently coming through, wouldn't surprise me we saw Ragnar for the Aatrox, depending on the matchups that's going to come through on the top side here. And I think that's also one of the reasons why they're not thinking they want to go Gnar immediately here. It still leaves open good matchup from the side of Ragnar. I mean, all of last year, we spent all of competitive seasons finding out why Gnar suddenly wasn't a good blind pick, right? This time around, it's comfort for Sinmivac. It's on the Camille.
So this should technically take Ragnar off the Gnar, because Camille does counter the Gnar early on, but he can put him on the Jax, which does beat Camille. He hasn't played yet in the tournament. It's actually Sinmivac that has run the Jax before, but you give them yet again a very easy counter pick towards the top side of the map, and he is going to get locked in. LDLC are playing with the champions they want to play yet again. Their only problem was maybe the top side of the map that did snowball a little bit in game number 1, right? So they've shut this one down. They've got 2 hyperscaling AD and AP carries on the bot side of the map, and I think the front to back, mostly the front to we're going towards the back, hiding team fight, looks pretty stellar here. I think Rebel is going to actually have to step out of his comfort zone, step out of the jungle, get these early ganks going, get these flashes going.
I mean, the question for me coming out of this draft is the desk prophet, they said, look, LDLC, they've been drafting how they like to. Aegir Rogue haven't really responded to that properly. Is this a proper response?
I think it's definitely more stable. You have actually lanes to play for as well. Down towards the bot side, you can get aggressive. As Trouble is mentioning, Rebel might need to get out of his comfort zone here. Come in with a good pillar. It's great against the low mobility carries like the Vega, like the Lucian as well. If you force flashes from these guys, then you actually have a point of aggression that you can play towards. And if you suddenly have that, well, then you can start playing the style that Rebel loves, which is going into the enemy jungle and start beating out the Viego.
And we're moving on to the Rift for our third time today. Could be the final time today here at the Amazon European Masters semi-finals. LDLC on match point, en route to finals. If they win this game, Aegir Rogue, the last bastion against the LFL, can they pull off the reverse sweep?
No, maybe. We'll see. That's why we're here.
That was brutal.
Okay, I think he was ready to say something because I saw his arms extending, but then I turn around, he's like stretching.
Yeah, it's good for you gamers. Check your posture right now and get hydrated.
And hydration check. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so again, I want to put our scope towards the jungle and top side of the map for a Go Rogue, because I feel like Rubble needs to yet again step out of his comfort zone and start ganking early on. If you look towards the top side of the map, Sinmivac is also sporting the Ignite. He wants to play aggressive. The problem is here, if he does get shut down, if Yike does choose to go towards the top side of the map and you have no flash, once this hookshot has been used, you're going to be in really deep trouble. So you need to make sure from a Go Rogue that Sinmivac is going to get ahead in this lane. Problem. Your bot lane also wants to play aggressive because you're playing Nami Lucian. So you need to make sure that whilst you're playing towards one side of the map, your bot side of the map is not losing, because Exekick has been getting these lanes for free.
Yeah, but I feel like you can still do that with the aggression, right? It's going to be about crashing waves and then playing safely afterwards. And the thing is with Lucian Nami that, yes, you can go in early like we see right now, but if you go even on first items as well, you can still spike. And for the Jax into the Camille matchup, yes, it can be Jax favored, but it's only really Jax favored once you start getting the first items coming through. Even though you have the counter-strike that can kind of stop the Q coming through from Camille, with Camille's hookshot, once she hits him, you're actually out of the counter-strike range, like we see here, and he can't actually use it. So that's how you play Camille into the Jax match. You actually win laning phase. A lot of people don't know this.
I really like how you got the visualization immediately as you were talking about it. This is why you're the professional. You know exactly what's going on. I'm just keeping my eyes on how Aegir Rogue want to play this early game, because as you mentioned, Trouble, there's so many different areas that they could play around and they kind of want to play around, but Rabble can't be 2 places at once.
So usually what we've seen so far back-to-back games is the fact that we've mentioned Yike likes to clear and then go invade Wraiths. I'm gonna hold this for a second. Nice flash right there from DOS. Really respects the power spike level 2 from Lucian Nami. But
and look who's around.
Exactly. Look who's around right now. Rubble sacrificing his entire bot quadrant. If this goes wrong, he loses a lot.
This might even be too dangerous for Dust. Like, you step up just a few more centimeters, he's there.
Look who knows.
Oh, Dust gonna get caught out by that pillar of ice. Chomped down. First blood goes the way of Lucian.
And that's exactly what we wanted, right? Force summoner spells with your aggressive lanes, make Rabble come down there and get the lead. This is exactly what a Go Rogue needed to do with that composition.
And I feel like Rubble also dodged the vision so well that Tribus was warded
100%.
from the side of LDLC. He walked around, came down the river. I'm gonna give props to Yike because he sniffed that there was probably a gank coming around, especially since DOS lost the flash. But I like the communication from a Go Rogue here. It was very assertive. It was like, DOS lost his flash. We need Rubble.
Oh my god,
Like,
the kid gonna get chased on to Lucker, picks up a second. This is the aggression we wanted to see.
And there you have it, Electrocute once again from Binsu. Does, or rather Exekick, just not ready for it when the damage came through, and he had Yike in the background. That's why he stepped up. He wanted to bait it, but he just got blew up before it even mattered.
And that is every single summoner from the bot lane of LDLC. Once you take all 4 of them, they're extremely squishy. You keep hitting DOS on that Lulu. Level 2 Lulu is gonna go down so fast to an Electrocute Lucian Nami. And I would love to see just Rubble permanently going bot side of the map with DOS being flashless.
On the top side of the map, Ragnar finally winning a few of these trades. He did recall, expand the TP, and started finally pushing forward in the lane. Problem is, Simivac can do the exact same. He comes back with a Sheen. Once again, very nice for the Camille in the matchup. But so far, we will have to take a look at how Rabble and the rest of our Go Rogue spot lane will continue to punish on this, because once the camp starts respawning on the bot side, that's where we can start seeing them get aggressive. They then will have bot lane priority, and then we'll have something to play for.
Yeah, and Rubble right now has to rush to the top side of the map because his Gromp is still level 1, has to clear that and start making his way down bot. But if you look onto the map, the bot lane wave is literally right in front of LDLC's tower, which means that if you overextend, your Lucian does not have flash available, so we could potentially see Yike making a play, see Ica moving around the map. You see that they're not allowing the wave to crash right there. They want to keep it where they feel safe farming.
But that's also the problem. Yike is on the top side of the map, and when he's finally on the bot side, well, it will be mimicked by Rabble.
Yep.
So far, even that rotation in like a good scenario that you're talking about from LDLC here, it'll be very difficult to replicate. Yike getting aggressive.
Yeah, moving in towards Rabble, but the chomp down onto Gromp. And Yike just gonna move back away. And we were talking about how these two junglers were going to interact with each other throughout this entire series. And this time around, it seems like Rabble might just have the slight edge.
I feel like what's been happening, I won't necessarily say that he has the edge right here because he's been spotted. They know that he's cleared the top quadrant of the map, so he's gonna end up towards the bot quadrant of the map. Who's on the bot quadrant of the map? A summonerless, squishy bot lane. So they definitely want to make sure they've probably maybe built up a wave in the middle, allow the Veigar to roam towards the bot side of the map, and prevent a potential dive from happening. Because right now, Rubble has nothing else to do on the map. He's gonna farm his last camp, and then maybe he's gonna look for a dive bot lane. He should have already been there for that dive bot lane.
Yike is going to be down on that bot side, maybe a little bit quicker if he does run down without taking any of these camps, and is actually going to be hanging around. He's predicting the dive coming through from bot lane, but Rabble's a little bit slow to the punches, just moving up now as DOS takes a bit of poke, and there could be a skirmish in the offing.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, Trouble. No flash into Lucian. Yike getting aggressive. Might run into Rabble, though.
Catches him out with the wall, and that is going to dissipate too much pressure. But look, it is going to be Knight moving first. Going to be called out on all the vision in the world, though. So LDLC will have information on this. They're looking towards Execute. He's already gone low. The chomp down, the damage coming through. Can Knight secure the kill? Yes, he can. Gets a second as well. Onto the Lulu. Double kill for Ari.
It's clean cut, and they're not losing anything from it. Yes, currently Ico is pushing in the mid lane, but in the grand scheme of things, that does not matter. Brilliantly played from a Go Rogue, and this time around, they find a lane to play for. They find a light in the darkness, and that's Locker.
But you have like 4 proactive lanes right here. You've got the Trundle that wants to gank very early on, and it's worked, right? And again, this time it's Knight with the Ari in the priority mid lane. Rabble will tank the whole tower right here so well, will tank the last shot as well, and then Knight will just come in to clean house completely. The calculated heal coming out of Binsu as well. And honestly, I'm just gonna say, because we've been talking about it, Binsu role swapped to support this season before he played any official competitive game, and he has been performing. He role swaps officially, but he doesn't officially play any game. He comes to EU Masters and he reaches semi-final, and he has this performance versus the tournament favorites.
And what does that tell you? Yes, support is indeed the easiest role in the game, but Beans, actually said it yourself. He's actually been doing well. I don't want to take it away from him with that joke. He has been performing very great when it's mattered. Also, we do still see the inconsistencies every now and then, but this is Beansu at his best. He's, although playing Nami, so I'm going to hold my credit back. I will say, though, from the side of LDLC, their composition, it's not going to spike in laning phase. This is not where we'll see them suddenly take over. We started mentioning in the top lane matchup with the Jax into the Camille. It's only when you get the first few items that Jax gets the lead. The same can be said for the Veigar into the mid lane and actually into the entire composition of a Go Rogue. When you get into the teamfight scenarios, all the champions on a Go Rogue, they are low range, and one good cage can shut it down completely. The same for Exakick on the Aphelios, also about the scaling aspect.
I love that you mentioned that, because I was about to say, unless they can snowball even harder, it's going to become really difficult for them later on, right? But it's because of that mid lane prior that they have right now and the bot lane priority that they can start stacking in the dragons. I'm actually really surprised that I haven't seen Rubble towards the bot side of the map right now, starting to stack the dragons, making it your win condition. Potentially with this Rift Herald right here, with Knight bullying Ica away, you can get a lane even more open. You can go towards the bot side of the map, give him more gold to lacquer on that Lucian, and then use him to try and go for the dragon stacking.
Trying to put the cooldown a little bit to get some damage through. Knight actually be caught out pretty near to the tower. Needs to be careful. The Veigar moves forward.
Whoa.
Shut down for the Veigar.
And that's a man that knows his damage limit. He saw lethal. One turret trip was enough. Flash forward, get the kill.
Rabble needs to be a little bit careful here. Ragnar has moved down. Beamsu in the wings as well. This could be a full-on skirmish. As you can see, Jax moving towards trying to get onto Trundle, but the pillar comes up. Yike moving down, though. They're going to be able to at least force the reset on Herald.
I just want to remind you, one mistake was all it took from Rubble last game for LDLC to shut down the entire game. One mistake from Knight lost them mid lane prio, bot lane prio, top lane prio, and Rift Herald.
And it's just
all
getting
because
shaky.
of that.
Right, it's like, honestly, he didn't even tag tower shot. That was just him getting stunned. And that, with the W and Q, there you have it. Veigar into Ahri there, showing why the matchup sometimes can be so difficult. But even then, a Go Rogue in that sequences of play, they started looking shaky. Beansu also being forced to flash away from the event horizon. And it's just sort of foreshadowing coming through what the team fights will look though. They are incredibly difficult to pilot when you have that event horizon to deal with.
And of course, we talk about how well Agar Rogue have looked in this early game, but as you mentioned earlier, it's all about LDLC as we move later and later. They've got the tools that they can look to use to take down these teamfights, to take down these side lanes. And for Agar Rogue, they still have themselves a slender lead. Can they carry it forward and build on it?
And right now, I want to drive your eyes a little bit to the inventories, because the Gale Force has been completed for the Lucian, and that is so crucial. Because with the Nami running Electrocute, 1E on the Lucian, and he can suddenly just one-shot anyone who stands in front of him from the bot side of the map, whether it's the Veigar, the Aphelios, or the Lulu, who is still level 5, extremely squishy, right? The Lulu is running the Ignite right now, so if you find her a little bit overextended, you can blow her up. Rubble knows that too. He's going to move towards the bot side of the map.
And a Go Rogue, they're actually setting up a play here as well. Stacked minion wave by Locker, mid lane moving
Deja
in.
vu?
Knight had the Deja vu coming through. Knight had the priority. Let's see how this one plays out.
It's going to be on this side because see Veigar moving on down as well. The longer they wait, Veigar actually turning around. So if they want to pull the trigger, Knight could be in trouble though. Extending up towards the dragon, has that movement speed, and you know what? There was a lot of bark but no bite as neither team makes anything happen.
Yeah, but it's a good standoff there. Ica forcing Knight to take the long route. Ica can now push in the mid lane. Let's see what he will do with the tempo advantage. Maybe they'll set up Herald. You can already see the vision control there. Very favorable towards LDLC on top side.
Absolutely, and look at the pathing that Knight had to take to make sure that he returns back to his mid lane. That loses him XP, it loses him gold from Veigar pushing in the bot lane, and then on the other hand, LDLC don't lose anything, they even hit back. So the Dragon is still yet to go down with for a Go Rogue, even though you have such a powerful bot lane that perma pushes, so you're not starting that one. And then slowly but surely, the Jax is going to Giga Punish Sinmivac on the side lane onto the Camille, and then the rest of your team scales to the gods. Vent Horizon, as you mentioned, Gulbog, is going to make it so hard for a Go Rogue to play these teamfights through choke points as well. So I feel like they're being proactive, but they're not using it for any objectives.
That is exactly the problem that we're seeing right now from Agar Rogue. They found themselves the advantage, but haven't turned that into big leads. They haven't turned that into territory, into neutral objectives, really. And now for them, what are they going to do? Where are they going to play around? The Dragon's still sitting on the map. The Herald's still there. They've got a couple of minutes if they want to use it to get some plates. Simnivac is in a little bit deep, but does manage to clear out the wave and come back top.
And it sort of goes back to the stylistic of LDLC. Yes, they're very good at getting ahead in the early game, but they don't always have to, especially when they play compositions like this, which is so much about the scaling aspect. They're fine with sitting back. They're fine with not being proactive, specifically when they're not losing anything from it. Now Rabble has ventured up to the top side. This is the lane that's behind though. 30 CS advantage currently from Ragnar here. He's already spotted on a ward. Thank you, Trouble. So Ragnar, he knows exactly what's going on here.
And Yike is just chilling. He's moving towards the bot side of the map. He knows that the enemy bot lane is just backing, so he's just going to get a free objective for himself.
So illegal.
What? It's so illegal, especially since the rogue bot lane has had priority since what, minute 3?
They might start up the Rift Herald here instead, though. But the thing is, he's already been the support with the first move. So if they get this Drake, they might try and move up towards the top side, or they cross map it and move down towards the bot side instead.
Not even doing the Rift Herald. It's actually mind-blowing right now because if you think about it, Knight has had prior for so long, the Rogue bot lane have had prior for so long, and all they've managed to get themselves is a 700 gold lead on a short-range composition. I'm looking at the Gale Force and the Lucian, I'm like, use it to your advantage before the FL starts stacking items, because then it's going to get much more difficult. And that's what we've criticized Rogue over and over again for, even at the beginning, right? They know what the win cons are, but they never push them hard enough.
Okay, Pro, they finally get the Rift Herald. Can't. Turret plates have fallen. You won't actually get the gold injections of the first Rift Herald.
Very well spotted.
Yes, honestly, little unlucky on that side, but there we go. We finally get the objective, and they can try and open up the side lanes, which of course will be nice when you have, for example, like a Mill or a Lucian you accelerated already, but they, once again, won't get the gold injection.
And I mean, talking about the stakes of this game, Ego Rogue have stalled a little bit. Remember, the winner of this one will go to the Amazon European Masters final. They'll be up against either Carmine Corp or Vitality B, who play against each other tomorrow. Remember, this is the only representative, not only from the Ultra Liga, but from not the LFL.
And that's crazy.
LFL seems a little bit strong this year.
I said this. Can we just not tell them that summer's happening?
Oh, God.
Can we just not invite them?
Slimnivaki's getting ganked.
Oh, no, he's in trouble here. Puts down the ultimatum, dives away, but it's 2v1. The ultimate from Yike secures the kill.
I'm just going to say, can we just not tell them they're getting ganked here? Yike,
someone tell him!
Someone tell them they're getting ganked.
Rabble getting aggressive against the Jags. He's two levels down.
I love how you looked at the glass half empty.
You're looking at Rappler.
You looked at the glass half empty, I looked at the glass half full. I'm like, he's 2 levels up. You're like, he's 2 levels down, he's dead.
I mean, Rapple's still alive for a second longer, puts up the pillar. Knight is here, this could be the turnaround. Picks up one, dives forward, the Everfrost. The second, it's a double for Knight.
Finally, something going well there. They accelerate something into the mid laner. It's not really come with their own proactivity. It's a reaction to the top gank, but the LDLC, they overstay their welcome, and Knight, he's able to capitalize on it.
Okay, you have a 4-1 Ari who is only 600 gold off of a champion that perma-scales into the late game, the Veigar. And what do you get out of this? A lot of golden experience is going to be lost towards the top side map. The entire wave actually is going to be eaten away by the tower. Yes, mid lane, you didn't lose much because Aika was there pushing it. And all you're going to be behind on is maybe your top laner who, ding, 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 is already almost 40 CS up.
He's chilling, having a good time. Haven't finished up the Divine Sunderer. I take it back. He just bought the Divine Sunderer, so there we have it. Mythic has come through as well. The thing is, Sinivac got his as well in the inventory. But once again, very scary to gank a Jax. I mean, you're a Trundle, you're a Camille. That Counter-Strike kind of just mitigates most of the damage that you're going to be afraid of.
And is able to just survive through on that 2v1. And of course, the dive in the end worked out for Ego Rogue. And I think that's crucial what you said there. It was a response. It wasn't them being proactive. It was them coming up and playing off an overstay from LDLC. They don't give you that many openings, but it's crucial that when they do, you have to grab them.
And now, Rabble getting the Rift Scuttle can try and counter jungle for the blue buff that have spawned on the side of LDLC. That's just not going to be it, though. Even though they could push in the mid lane, they could push in the bot side, but they're looking for an overextension of the LDC bot lane. But they did this one time. They're not going to do it again. Yeah,
and you don't really have a wave right there to play with as well. I feel like a Go Rogue have not necessarily been managing the waves towards the bot side of the map very well, especially when Rumble is coming about to try and Trundle, rather, not Rumble. That's not a champion in the game. In this game in particular. I'm losing my mind.
Do you need help?
Slowly but surely. Yes, please, thank you.
I got you. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I mean, they still have stuff to play for. I think we just need to see them be proactive, at least on the next Drake here, because you still have this gold lead. You have a 1k gold lead. You want to see stuff getting finally taken on the map from the side of a Go Rogue. They have a Rift Herald in the inventory. You have all the tools to be proactive here, so it's really on a Go Rogue to just start making the play.
It's the same hover, though, from Rumble. The same hover that he's been doing for the last 10 minutes straight. He's hovering towards the bot side of the map. Nothing is really happening. Maybe we'll see an opening right here. 50 seconds for the next Dragon. You're going to spawn the Rift Herald in the mid lane, and there's not going to be too much response because you have more members around.
But I do like this rotation unless Ragnar...
Oh, I don't like this. If Rabble goes down, it's going to be secured by Yike, who takes up the Trundle form and could look to move forward. Going to be dodging away, taking a whole heap of damage. But Ragnar's on the side, but can't find an opening.
I was just about to say, I really like what we saw from a Go Rogue. They pushed in the bot side, they moved their bot lane into the mid lane, and they got the turret. The problem was Rabble, he's the melee. You don't really have to walk off there. The turret was kind of low. Just needed your range carries to take it away, back off, go down, pick up the bot lane, and then start a play again.
This just looks so messy, honestly, from our Go Rogue, because as you mentioned by Varun as well, it's always them reacting to a play, and when they're being proactive, they somehow get instantly punished. I agree with you, Gulbok. When you have Nami there, Lucian, Ari, you don't need to step up to the tower, get instantly punished. Give a kill to a mid laner, again, that's perma-scaling into the late game, and it's going to make your life hell.
But now, we still have Locker, who's a phenomenal carry. Got 9
Don't be there, but now the Everfrost and the damage is huge. Knight dives forward. Knight gonna try and get away. Will be able to dash back, but we've already seen one mistake from the RGO. They can't afford a second.
And remember, even though Knight still has his teleport available right here, while Simnivak is also fighting for his life.
Oh, gonna be able to get shot away.
Knight is not going to have his ultimate in this fight, so even though he TPs back, you've lost most of your strength as an Ahri, which is hopping and skipping and jumping around to try to make a pick. So even though, yes, he instantly TPs back, he gets that minion wave, LDLC are literally running away with murder here.
Yeah, the thing is, there's not really a cross map to come through that teleport. I mean, we could have played up towards the top side if we wanted to instead. Rapple's still playing around this Rift Scuttle. The rest of LDLC, they're out of vision. They know there's a ward, but they will back out this time around.
And there you go, Rogue. We're back towards the bot side for the lead. They're going to put the culling down. X-Skip takes basically no damage. Really, really worried for the Ultra League representatives here. Knight, once again, might be a little bit overextended. The Charms comes through. There's the stun, but the root comes down. Ragnar trying to get some damage down, but won't be able to secure the kill as a bit of poke on the backside.
Yeah, maybe with 2 aggressive items coming through from Ajax, but not yet. Charm is enough to disengage that one, and he's just walking out with the extra movement speed. On towards the top side, teleport is coming through. Simnivac might be overextended.
Simnivac might be in trouble. Will be able to get away from the cage, though, as Ica chases forward, gets the slow, but not the stun, gets the damage down, looking for the primordial burst. He's actually going forward, but the dodge away with the ultimatum. And Simnivac, that was beautiful.
Uncharacteristic from Ica, he makes a mistake.
Oh, Simnivac with the double. That's huge. That could turn this game around.
Simnivac, highlight play coming through there from a Go Rogue when they needed the most. They get a bot side turret as well. Ica invested a teleport and a fumble from the LDLC mid lane, and we don't often see this. Simnivac steps up, show why he's got a prowess on a champion like Camille.
Hit them with the emotes right there, Simnivac, because you absolutely outplayed the ish out of both of them. Ica is going to miss the Everfrost. He's going to proc the passive right there as well. But then when he flashes for that Q, for that R, Simnivac absolutely dodges it with his own R. And then Ragnar is like, well, I have to finish what got started. But he has no abilities left.
And it's just a great hook shot coming through there. Kind of just putting away the distance, making sure that the auto attack from Ragnar cannot come through. Tower really just does the rest. And now you got yourself with Elena who's ahead on the side lane, which you really don't want when you had a Jax specifically picked into this Camille to shut it down.
And we talked about when LDLC make a mistake, you have to grab onto it. Ego Rogue, once again, Simnivac on his own manages to do that. And now you can see members of Ego Rogue moving up towards the top side, but LDLC are lying in wait, looking towards Beans, who's going to have to be careful. Locker as well, a little bit overextended, looking towards the Nami, get a lot of damage down, but Locker goes away. The teleport coming through as well. This could be a full-blown violence toss. Needs to be careful, takes a whole heap of damage. Simnivac is going to look towards the re-engage, won't be able to find the hook shot, and is forced to back away, but he keeps his team alive.
Oh my god, Doss right there. I bet his breath was caught for a second.
Rabble needs to be careful, caught up in the cage. Knight dives into the cage as well. The first kill of the fight goes over to Ica, but Knight dug up from the Nami. Beans on the side, manages to help get one back. The ultimatum on the Doss will be able to catch him out. That's 2 kills to 1 for Ego Rogue.
That's 2 good plays in a row from the side of a Go Rogue, and they're excelling at their pressure now. They can continue with the siege on the top side. They should be able to take the turret, and with this, they've taken care of all the outer turrets. They should be able to start becoming aggressive with Rappel in the opponent's jungle.
Yeah, and the Camille is starting to pick up as well. 1,000 ahead of the Jax right now. Simnivac is an absolute beast on that champion, and mind you, he blind picked it, knowing that the counter pick could potentially come through. And it feels like once the event horizon is not there from Ica, you cannot overextend, you cannot make this plays. Beans takes the stun right there and then flashes out. And right here, Doss is in a lot of trouble. He holds his ultimate because he knows Simnivac can jump in onto that Camille, but that is still a Lulu on like 10% HP. And once Ica joins right there, Rabble overextends once again onto that Trundle. But everything in the kitchen sink is thrown at that Trundle, so a Go Rogue are able to re-engage. Since Exekick, I don't think he put any autos in this fight. Maybe one.
It's also just the fact that they're so split, right? Exekick, he was taking care of the minion waves under the turret, and Knight, he did get stunned, but they just tunneled on Rabble because he was the closest one. You could have tunneled onto Knight instead, killed that mid laner immediately, and maybe the fight would have turned out differently. But now, once again, all outer turret has been taken. We're 22 minutes into the game with only 2 Drakes taken so far. Getting the next Drake would be soul point for LDLC. They're 4k down currently. And
Exekick, he's in a lot of trouble. He's going to try and move back and meet up with his team that are rotating up. The color coming from Lugger will cut him off, and the damage is there. Knight secures the kill. Looking towards Yike now. Will be at the other chamber, because in the box, the ultimate and the damage coming through from Ica, as Lugger will be able to flash away.
Charm almost connecting there. They still aggressive. They're still showing their aggression here, rather. Ica might be caught off guard.
Disperse, Camille is around. You gotta disperse at this point, because this is a Camille that has just completed her second item as well. Death Stance, Doss, you're too far.
Looking towards Doss, should be able to cut him down. The ultimate used, but it's not going to be enough. Lugger with the kill.
This is not typical LDLC. Everyone keeps overextending right there. They're all getting picked apart. And Sinmivac is having the game of his life right there. Yike, thumbs up for getting out. But this is so uncharacteristic from LDLC. Doss just walking in, getting caught somewhere where he shouldn't be, because Ica had just gotten out, and right here, LDLC are trying to take another mid lane tower. Really nice from Ica right there to zone away whoever is coming from a Go Rogue, and I'm assuming that Ragnar can also get out from the bottom quadrant of the map. Now, my eyes, okay, he has to TP out to get out of this situation.
He's in a lot of trouble here, though. So much damage coming through from Ica. The shutdown onto Exekick. That's huge for LDLC.
Sinmivac, no teleport either, no position afterwards when he's overextended like that. And yes, Drake has spawned, but
what's going on?
Agency from the side of LDLC to enter, but you're right. They can just move on towards the Baron. They can force the hand of a Go Rogue and remove them from the Drake.
What are they going to be able to do here? How do Ego Rogue contest? They've got Lugger and Beatsu moving towards, of course. They have some pretty big ultimates available to them, but are they going to be able to do enough? The Baron goes down to 3,000 health. Is there going to be any opportunity to try to steal this? One of them comes through, but it's secured by LDLC. Doss chased off to the side. Ragnar is going to be able to get over, but will fall to the auto attack. They're going to be able to cut down another couple as well. LDLC get away, but it's only Baron on 2.
Now we need to see what LDLC can actually do with this Baron, because they only have it on 2 members that are going to be bunched together. If it was on the Dark side, I'd be like, oh, this is really worth it, because you can take it on a side lane, but you cannot put your Veiga in a side lane, you cannot put your Viego on a side lane, and you've also gifted a free dragon to the side of Rogue. We need to see how much worth it this Baron will be at the end of the day, and what you can take with it, because so far 3 of your members died. You lost a lot of tempo on the map. What should have been soul point, which is Hextech as well, so strong for you, goes to the side of Rogue, and again here Laka with an insane calling.
Yeah, once again making them very low, but look at the cage coming out from Ica here. He's anticipating that someone's going to be on the flank, but if this one comes down in the beginning to the entrance of the pit, maybe Ragnar's able to flash out as well, and having that Baron buff in the Jax would have done wonders for you in a side lane. This time around, though, that's not going to be the case, and as you said, a Go Rogue, they pick up the Drake, but I do like to look at the gold here, and I will say that a Go Rogue, they were up 5k. They're only up by 2k now, so yes, they still pick up a nice fight here around the Baron, but the way they accelerated the game has still been a little bit slow, and it is going to be slower when you're pushing into Baron off minions.
And that's the point, isn't it? It's a case of, yes, they're ahead, but are they far enough ahead? Are they moving quick enough? Because we've talked about the scaling from LDLC so much in this game. You've got Varga, you've got Aphelios. They're going to be able to do so much work later. Ego Rogue need to start making inroads.
Mentioning Veiga right here, I was wondering what Ica went into complete debt for, and it is the Anathema's Chains. And I'm going to assume right here that this Anathema's Chains is going to go towards Sinmivac onto that Camille, because he is the one that completely wreaks havoc on that, on the Rift right now. Maybe even Knight's Ari. I'm not sure how it's on right now. Maybe there are spectators can tell us, but so far, again, we mentioned what can they get with the Baron, because again, if it was on the side laner, yes, you can put Jax on the side, push maybe 2 lanes at a time, but it's on your Veiga, can't overextend. It's on your Viego, he has to shadow the Veiga. So all in all, the Baron power play, it resulted in a tower mid lane for a Go Rogue.
Yeah, there we have it. It was a Knight. I think reason why you do that as well is because Camille has true damage, so you don't want to put Anathema's on that because it goes through the reduction, unfortunately. Same when you have a Vayne as well. We've seen in the beginning where big discussion, was it a bot, was it not? No, the true damage does work on Anathema's chain. So it goes on towards the only AP damage dealer as well, which means you can manage, you can start building armor as well if you want to on the side of Ike as well. Frozen Heart can even be an option if that's what you're looking for. But now, towards the bot lane, Ragnar might be getting caught.
Yeah, overextended, caught up in the ultimatum, tried to jump away, but won't be able to do so. Teleport's coming in from both sides here. The tidal wave comes on through, it hits up too, as Ike needs to be a little bit careful, but has so much damage available. Ragnar throwing back in towards Simnavac, who needs to be careful, will be able to survive. The shutdown goes on to Rabble this time around, as Ragnar still caught out, gonna be cut low, shooting down. Locker gets another, a double for the Trundle, as Rogue take more.
LDLC have been overextending the entire game and shut down by a Go Rogue. They took Baron for themselves, a Go Rogue are the ones that push down the towers. When the Baron expires, then LDLC chooses to push down towers, and they overdive without their AD carry. We mentioned how pivotal Exakick is for their fights, and right now he's on a failures. He's got 2, almost 3 items. Wait for your carry to get there. I think LDLC are getting a little bit too impatient to finish the series, and every time they overextend to make a play, they instantly get punished.
20-second death timers now as well. They're able to get the tier 2 turret, and let's just have a look at what you're talking about right now, because you take a look at the minimap, right? Exakick, he's only passing the blue buff right now, so I think it's a great disengage that initially comes through from Ica. The cage is absolutely huge, but they kind of get baited here. They're like, what, Simnavac? He's kind of getting low here. He's still 4 versus 5. It's really not going to matter in terms of the war of attrition here, and when Exakick finds around, he's like, well, I guess I'm going back to where I came from.
And it was really clever from a Go Rogue to re-engage that, right? Because they saw Exakick on a ward, they pinged him, and they're like, this is a 4v5, they're missing their strongest member right now, fight.
And once they did, they managed to pick up another decent skirmish. The gold leaders got back a little bit more in their favor. 3,000 now as LDLC need to start finding solutions to these problems, because yes, they've got the scaling, but Ego Rogue, they're looking more and more likely to start making heavy inroads towards these later objectives, towards the base. And the more they can gain, the more likely they are to win.
And Exakick clearing up the mid wave, coming into him currently. They're just playing stalemates here. We're waiting for the Drake to spawn right now, and in between these two AD carries, it's been different stories coming forward, right? But Locker finally able in this game to excel himself. Gold difference usually is in the favor of Exakick, but I will say the reason why the gold difference from Locker is so low as well is because he plays champions like the Ivan. He plays champions like the Soraka as well. And then the impressive part is, well, he's playing Ivan, he's playing Soraka. How does he still have an average damage percent ratio of 24 that's so close to Exakick's? It's because he's so good when he's on the AD carries too.
And that's what I was about to say. The damage percentages are so close for somebody who doesn't get the same gold percentage thrown his way, especially when you're playing the more passive lanes. As you mentioned, Gubok, you're not gonna get as much gold. This time that he has the gold funneled in him, 6, 0, and 5 on that Lucian. That flank, oh, they've spotted them.
Yeah, it was a long shot, and it looks like Ego Rogue have called them out, and it might be looking towards Ragnar in the side lane. Yike gonna stick around, was looking to recall, but decides against the teleport coming on through LDLC.
He's gonna have to ult.
That's giving them warning. Yike's gonna have to ult over the wall. Rabble's still there, but is thinking he might not want to get too far involved. Yike is trying to be Metal Gear Solid. They go on to Ragnar. Can they get the kill? Answer Jackson Cullen comes through. Can't dodge away from abilities, mate, and he goes down. Knight secures the kill.
How in the world is it Ragnar that dies there? Yike just casually walks into a bush. Ragnar steps up because, I guess I'm safe. No, you're watching them. Get out of there.
Yike is like, see ya.
It's the little, he's in a cardboard box and he just sits there and just sneaks his way out as LDLC don't lose their jungler, but now Baron.
But look very quickly what was lost from the side of Rogue. We have 3 ultimates, crucial ultimates lost. The Culling, Trundle ultimate, and the Camille ultimate, which means that they're gonna go for the Baron, so LDLC don't have time to respond with the Dragon, and they have to actually respond.
Oh, they might have caught Cinderback on the back line here. So much damage comes on through. The tidal wave comes out, but the Camille is down. They're gonna be able to grab up that one, move into the pit now, looking to potentially steal this one away. Rabble is still there, though, as Yike goes out the pit. Another cage comes on down to make sure that the Baron is gonna go down super, super slowly. LDLC still looking for the test. The Baron goes down too. Teleport coming through. Who's going to be able to stolen by Yike? LDLC take the Baron, move forward and try to take the fight. They're cutting through Rogue on the retreat. Knight is getting away, but that's disaster for the Ultra Liga.
He got flash!
Everything falling apart by the schemes that the Baron were. Rogue, they're supposed to get ahead. Yike. must fall for his troubles. We trade Yike for Baron.
More like yikes at this point.
Stop it.
Oh, there's inroads coming through from LDLC. They're moving down the mid lane. They're going to be able to crack open the base. Defenders from Ego Rogue. There's only 2 currently. Sinmac will be up in 5 seconds time. How much can LDLC gain? It looks like it's just the inhibitor this time around.
But guys, LDLC did that while their AD carry was soloing Drake, and he's late to the party. The vision control wasn't good enough. They spotted Sinmac on the wall the whole time, and then the flash from Yike. This might is true, and so is the Baron steal.
I kept screaming that he has flash for this fight, and a Go Rogue just did not walk away from that Baron. That didn't account for Yike flashing into the pit.
Well, they didn't hear you.
Clearly, I did scream pretty loud. I'm sorry for the people at home, but I did scream pretty loud. But a Go Rogue, especially when you're in a position when you know you can win these skirmishes, you definitely do not want to take the 50-50. Although, I will give it to them. Last time LDLC took Baron, they didn't do much with it because it was only on 2 members. Now that they have it on more, and very crucially, now that they have it on Ragnar that can side lane, you can put pressure on multiple lanes.
It's on 4 members for LDLC. Yike's the only one who doesn't have it in pocket, and they're going to be able to take down some of these much easier to gain towers as they move forward. Ego Rogue needs to put up a stalwart defense, but their comp isn't really designed to go super late into the game. They need to keep playing with the advantage, with the momentum, and they've kind of lost it here.
And remember what Gulbok said at the very beginning, this Go Rogue roster draft is very short range. You walk up to a double cannon Baron, the up minion, you will lose your life. The event horizon will be there, the engage will be there from the side of LDLC. You have not much wave clear versus Baron up minions. You have very low range, which means you have to walk very close to the minion wave, and it's becoming a little bit difficult to play the game for our Go Rogue at this point.
Yeah, that teleport looking like a flank teleport, but it is just Iker who cleared out the top side and now joining the rest of his team here. Do you have 3 cannon waves to play with? One of them baited in onto the turret, and this might just be a little bit of a slow one, but a mid lane inhibitor with the super minion will have to get a response soon as well, and LDLC, they press forward.
Yeah, the wave has been used though. Ego Rogue wants to defend this, and Inhibitor Tower won't be able to find anything. No, massive snipe coming through from Avelios. Lucker and Beans need to back away. This should be the tower forfeit.
But that's all you need. You don't have to kill them, you just have to push them away. You take the middle tower, you take the bot lane tower and the inhibitor as well. You open up the map, and now you have 2 lanes pushing in with bound up minions.
How far can LDLC go with this one? They're moving towards the Nexus towers. They're looking for a stun, they're looking for a pick. Can they find anything? Yike dives away. The damage coming on through them. They've caught out Rabble. He goes low, he's going to be forced back. Sinmac dives on through the defense from the Ultra Leaguer. Needs to be strong. He manages to avoid the Vigar ultimate. Sinmac taking so much damage, gets blown to pieces. And now Ragnar moves forward. Binzu has to back away. Members of LDLC are moving further down. Jax has fallen, but so has Nami as Ego Rogue needs to move back to their founding. But the Nexus towers, they're going so low. The first one falls. LDLC looking for the second. It looked like it might have been the day for the Ultra Leaguer, but LDLC are going to move to the Amazon European Masters Finals, and they do so undefeated.
And we were so close to a game for Go Rogue in this one. They had the tools, they had the draft, they had the momentum, but in the end, they lacked on the execution. And LDLC, they come back with a clean Baron steal. They find the team fighting and they take it at 3-0. Once again for LDLC, they remain undefeated at the European Masters, moving into the finals.
They didn't have the French flag behind them, Gulbok. This seems to be, I'm just gonna say, I've been here for the back-to-back from K-Corp. If you don't have the French flag behind you, apparently you're doomed to not win EU Masters. And we're up for an all LFL final.
And we've got, of course, Carmine Corp and Vitality B in the other side of the bracket. They're going to be coming up against each other tomorrow. Winner of that one will be going up against LDLC. They'll be intimately aware of each other from playing in the same league, but this LDLC